what, Fayette County? It's our time to stand up and take back our county and our country. The establishment elite, the career politicians, the swamp creatures in both parties, they have spent decades selling us out, making deals that benefit themselves and their donors, while the hardworking people of Fayette County and across America get left behind. They tell us to sit down, shut up, let them run things. They tell us, trust the system, but the system ain't working for us. It's working against us. Well, I've got news for them. We're not backing down. We're just getting started. We are the steel workers, the coal miners, the farmers, the small business owners, the first responders, and the families who built this nation with our bare hands. We work, we build, we sacrifice, and we don't need government bureaucrats telling us how to live our lives. They want more taxes. They want more regulations. They want more control. But we say no more. They want us divided, black against white, rich against poor, rural against urban. But we see through their lies. This movement, the MAGA movement, is all about us coming together as Americans. We believe in freedom over control. We believe in fair elections over corruption. We believe in jobs over handouts. We believe in family, faith, and country. And let me tell you, I ain't here to play politics. I'm here to fight for you. That's why I'm running for re-election as your recorder of deeds. Not to be another politician, but to be a watchdog against corruption, to protect your property rights, and to make sure the government is transparent and accountable. And I promise you this, after I win the recorder of deeds, I'm not stopping there. These establishment politicians have been bleeding you dry, raising taxes, playing political games with your money for far too long. I'm going to put an end to that. They'll try to smear us, silence us, call us every name in the book, but they will never break our spirit. We are MAGA strong, America first, and unstoppable. So Fayette County, are you ready to take back your government? Are you ready to send a message to the swamp that we the people are in charge? Are you ready to stand up, fight back, and win? Then let's get to work. Tell your neighbors, because the Hillbilly MAGA train is leaving the station and we're taking our country and our county back. Full speed ahead. God bless Fayette County. God bless Pennsylvania. And God bless the United States of America. And God bless President Donald J. Trump. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
Views and opinions expressed on this program are those of John Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long-haired country boy alone. And I start singing along to that line in the song, Sweet Home Alabama.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. And today's show is being brought to you by Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, Mung's Auto Body, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul. They're the IDF of Fayette County. ACS Metal and Shingle Roofing, Country Motor Sales, Gary's Auto Sales, Gunslingers, JB Market in Dunbar, Tactical Civics, Solid Foundation Ministry, New Life Free Methodist Church, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, The Ink Spot, Fayette County MAGA Patriots Group, Highline Motorsports. Please go see Greg. He's always got something that you can sit on that goes fast, and I'm sure tell him I sent you. Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, John Marietta for We the People, Hillbilly's Grub and Pub in Donegal, Bekisniak Trucking, and Premier Auto Glass. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to get right to it today. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves. That's Matthew 7:15. I'll tell you what, folks, sometimes the old stories tell the truth better than a 500-page government report. You've all heard the snake in the and the tender-hearted woman finds a frozen snake, nurses it back to health, and the very moment it's strong enough, it bites her. And as she cries out, the snake says, "You knew bloody well I was a snake before you took me in." But now, put that in Fayette County terms. You vote for a politician who promises to fight for you, lower your taxes, protect your freedoms. You give them your trust. You give them your vote. And the second they've got power, they turn around and bite you. They raise your taxes, pile up debt, hand out favors to their buddies, and act like little kings instead of public servants. That's the story of the power-hungry elite. They put on a smile. They shake your hand. They tell you how much they care about the people. But the minute they're sworn in, they forget who sent them there. They sit up in offices, sipping brandy and smoking cigars like robber barons, while you're scraping together enough to cover groceries, gas, and that ever-climbing property tax bill, which was raised 78% in the last 6 years here in Fayette County. And here's the real kicker. They don't even apologize. They grin like the snake, and they say, "You knew bloody well I was a snake before you took me in." But you know what? We don't have to keep taking them in. We don't have to keep giving power to the same crowd that bites us over and over. We can demand leaders who tell you the truth, cut waste, and serve the people, not themselves. Because at the end of the day, this republic wasn't built for snakes in suits. It was built for free men and women who understand responsibility, sacrifice, faith, and family. God bless the people who still believe in that America. I do, and I know the guy that I'm talking to does today. And shame on the snakes who think we're too weak to notice their bite. I know that I've been raged about some things the last couple of days on the radio, but the tax increases and the things that are going on in this county, we just can't sit back and take it anymore. We got to do something about it. And that's why I think we need to change a lot of things, the way we do business, particularly here in the county. But anyways, we're going to get right to my guest. He's been he's talked to me several times on the phone over the years, and I want to introduce him. His name is Rick Saccone, and Rick is a history person. He runs he has constitutional classes, I believe, still, and teaches people the Constitution and what it's about. And I think that's where we got to get back to. Our founding fathers understood this, and I think that's what we have to do. Rick, are you with me?
Yeah, good to talk with you, Hillbilly.
Yeah, I didn't mean to be so fired up today, but it's been that kind of a day. I mean, they're trying to tell us that we're running out of money in the county. We got to watch what we spend, and I'm thinking like, well, you just raised taxes 25%, so there's a problem. So, anyways, sometimes it boils over when it gets to you, and I know you've been there too.
Yeah.
I do got to ask you. I seen that you decided that you're going to toss your hat in the ring and you're going to run for lieutenant governor.
Well, I put out a post the other day saying I'm prayerfully considering doing that, and I was asking for feedback from the people that follow me to see if there's still support for me. Remember I ran a few years back, and we had 9 candidates. I came in second, and the things have changed a little bit, and we're going to have Stacey Garrity running. I'm sure she's going to win, and she needs a good, strong conservative there to help her. And I'm still out there. I'm still available, and so I've been calling around the state and asking all the groups, especially the Patriot groups and other groups that have helped me along the way, to see if there's support for me to run again, because that's my whole goal. I mean, I just want to run because I want to help and I want to make change. If I don't have the support, that's fine. They can find somebody else. People don't have to. Everybody. I might not be the most popular person. If I am, I'm willing to work and I'm willing to step up and do the job. And I think I'll do it better than anybody else that's out there. But I'll do what the people want. So I'm looking for that support. I'm kind of gauging the support across the state. So far, it's been very, very, very positive. There's always a few trolls and a few rude people, but mostly like 99% of the people that have commented or messaged me have been very encouraging for me to step up and run. So I'm inclined to do that. I haven't made the decision yet. It's still a little early. Nobody else has really stepped up to run yet. We'll see what the field looks like. I hope it's not 9 candidates again like it was last time.
It might be 11 this time, knowing the way things are. But one of the things I do want to ask you is why lieutenant governor? I mean, you've been at this long enough, and I think your name recognition is out there. Why wouldn't you maybe just run for governor?
Well, I think Stacey Garrity would be very hard to beat. She is a good candidate, and I like her, and I have faith in her. And so I think she'll be able to raise the money. She's won 2 statewide races as treasurer. So would I like to be governor? I mean, I think I would be a good governor. I think I could do that job. But as I said, if I see someone that's really good that can do the job, then I'll support them and I'll help them. I mean, I just want us to have good government. I want the people to be represented, however that shakes out. Whether I'm in a lead role or whether I'm in a secondary role or tertiary role, I'll do what I can to make sure. I mean, you mentioned property tax. Remember, I ran on property tax for the state legislature. I fought it for 8 years. We almost had it passed. We lost by 1 vote. We did pass a constitutional amendment to eliminate school property tax in 2017. The legislature has yet to enact the enabling legislation that would put that into force. For all your listeners out there, they should be talking to their state legislators and state senators right now, saying, why are you not enacting the legislation necessary to implement the constitutional amendment that we all voted for overwhelmingly in 2017? It's already in the Constitution. All we have to do is now enable it, and they're not doing it. So we need to act. And as a lieutenant governor, I will push because I'll be running the Senate there, and I'll push the Senate to enact that enabling legislation. And of course, I still have my colleagues in the House, so I'll also encourage them to enact the enabling legislation to let's get this school property tax eliminated and get a fair system out there so that people can keep their homes and never worry that the government is going to come and take their home from them.
I think we have to. You brought this up, so I'm going to let you explain to me the bill that you passed. And I forgot all about this. That was 2016 or 17. I remember this now, but you had a bill that is actually in our state constitution that. So
it wasn't my bill. It was Representative Dave Maloney's bill. It was a constitutional amendment to eliminate the school property tax. It was a referendum on the ballot, which voted for it across the state, overwhelmingly passed in 2017. And then we had, if you remember, we had House Bill 76, which would have eliminated the school property tax and replaced it by shifted the burden over to the sales tax and the income tax, so that because everybody pays sales tax, even tourists passing through the state pay sales tax. There's no reason the burden for our school should be just on property owners. They should be on everybody. And so it kind of spread the burden out by raising the taxes on the income tax and the sales tax, so that the properties would be safe. And it would eliminate the school property tax, so your home would never be in jeopardy again. That bill lost by 1 vote, and in the Senate. And so we came very, very close to eliminating school property tax. We can still do it. It's out there. The opportunity is there. We just need legislators that are willing to stand up and do it.
I agree with you 100%. We have to have people with backbone that understands what happens with property tax. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. It ends up coming against. It ends up. Thank you. It ends up coming against our seniors, our people that are on fixed incomes, and that's who it hurts the most. Our farmers are getting hurt really bad with this, and I just feel like we need to figure out how to eliminate it altogether. I'm with you on this, Rick. I mean, I am. I mean, this is how we get rid of the. We probably have to eliminate some bureaucrats in Harrisburg and at the county level in order to make this happen. But I'm with you on this. I really am. We have to eliminate the property taxes.
Yeah, when I was in the legislature, I mean, thousands of people would complain to me that, look, when you're, as you said, when you're on a fixed income, you're living on, I'll give you an example, a woman living on her dead husband's pension, $800 a month from United States Steel. They built that house 40 years ago for maybe $25,000, $30,000. The value of that house keeps rising, so that house is now worth $130,000. But her income has not gone up. Her income is still $800 a month, and she's paying taxes on an asset that generates no income for her, and her income hasn't gone up, so she can't afford it. So she's like, Rick, I'm going to have to sell my home, and I'm going to have to move to something smaller, the home that my husband and I built, because we can't pay our school property tax. I mean, it's ridiculous. No one's home should ever be in jeopardy because the government wants more money from them. That home should be sacred. It should be safe. And there's a way we can do that, and I'm for fighting for that. I always have been. I will protect people's homes. I believe they should have that right. The government should never be assaulting people's homes to fund our schools. There's lots of other ways. Other states do it differently. There's lots of other ways to fund our schools, and they should never be on the backs of the property owner.
Without a doubt, I agree with you. I'm wholeheartedly about this. I mean, I've been saying this. What we need to do, we need to figure out a way to do this in Fayette County, eliminate property taxes. And if you would get elected to lieutenant governor, you would be able to help lobby for this particular thing over and over again.
Absolutely. As a lieutenant governor, you have a platform. You go around the state. And I would pledge. I'll pledge it right now. If I get elected, I will, everywhere I go around the state, it was when I was in the legislature. Property tax will be on my lips, and I will be pressuring and pushing and encouraging and cajoling every people to talk to their state legislators and their state senators to put those bills forward, put the bill forward that will eliminate it so that we can implement the constitutional amendment that we passed. And get rid of the school property tax. The school property tax is the worst. Your county and your local taxes is bad, but the school property tax is your biggest bill, and people just can't afford it. Every year in Pennsylvania, thousands of people lose their homes. And the arrogance of these people. I had a school superintendent tell me, "Well, so what? These seniors ought to downsize. If they can't afford their home, they ought to downsize. We need that money in our school districts." I mean, the arrogance and the ignorance of some of these bureaucrats just makes me sick. And if people knew, people don't really know. I mean, I would say it at town hall meetings and things, but if people only knew how easily we could eliminate that school property tax and save their home, I think they would stand up. But their legislators don't seem to have enough backbone to support it or introduce again the newest legislation that we need to get it done. And every year we wait, the price goes up. Because every time that budget keeps doubling, they keep, the price to eliminate that school property tax keeps going up, and it makes it harder and harder.
I think this is the issue. I really do. I think this is the number one issue right now. I just come out of the Fayette County Fair. Okay, we Fayette County Fair, then the Bullskin Township Fair, and you know where both of them places are.
Yeah.
But that's the number one thing I hear out of everyone. They're tired of paying property tax. They're tired of paying school tax. They feel like they're being taxed to death. And it's the people. I have one couple. They're in their late 70s, and they're the nicest people. They still farm. And they says, John, we don't know how much longer we're going to be able to stay where we're at because just the price of equipment, the price of fuel, the last 4 years, the inflation, everything that's happened, and now the taxes go up again on us, our county property taxes, and they said that isn't bad enough. We still have a bill come every fall that we have to pay for school taxes, that we don't have no kids at school anymore. He said we haven't had we haven't had no children in school since I forget what year he said. I want to say it was in the 80s. But that's where, and you think about these people and you have to feel for them because they got to decide whether they're going to keep a farm or they're going to sell part of it to keep it going, stay where they're at. They worry about their insurance. They worry about what if something happens to each other. I mean, you really feel bad for these people. And I mean, I'm barking about it. I'm shouting at the wall sometimes. I feel like I'm in a closet and with the door shut and nobody can hear me. But the message is getting out there. And Rick, you don't know how much you made my day today just by saying these things.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I would encourage, if I was the lieutenant governor, I would encourage the governor, who will hopefully be Stacey Garrity, to as a candidate to run on property tax and let people know. I mean, you go over to the other side of the state, Berks County, Montgomery County, Monroe County. They're all going crazy with property tax. They will win over the state. I told Governor Corbett, you want to win re-election, go for property tax. He refused. He wouldn't do it. No, Rick, because they're in the pockets of the teachers union. That's why. And until we get that straight and find a different way to fund schools, the people will actually suffer. And they use it under the guise of, well, if you're against the teachers union, then you're against education, you're against the children. It's nonsense.
That ain't true.
It's nonsense. No. And we have to have people that have the guts to stand up and say, that's nonsense. We're not going to do that anymore. We have too many people hurting. We're going to find a different way to fund the schools, and the schools will get money, and we'll make them competitive, and there'll be better schools, and it'll cost less money, and our properties will be safe.
Actually, if you do this right, you could be more powerful than the governor, even if you don't get elected as the governor, because the people will rally behind you. The Patriots groups will rally behind you. I know you're already a Second Amendment man. I know. There's no doubt about that. I know that you're for free speech. I mean, we can go on. I know you're pro-life. So I really believe that these Patriots groups will get behind you on this, and that's where we need to be. That's what we need to be. It isn't going to be the establishment. It's going to be the people kind of people that move this thing forward. We have to drain the swamp. We have to. Just like President Trump, he's working on it every day. Every day he's doing something. I mean, I was talking about the wars that he stopped yesterday on the radio here with a fellow that's an historian, and he's already stopped 7, and it looks like he's going to stop the 8th war. I mean, this is where we're at, and I know you're about illegal against illegal immigration too. We can transfer into that, but
definitely. I mean, the illegal immigration problem is something that's been growing. I mean, when I was in the legislature, I thought, well, it's just it doesn't really affect Pennsylvania much. No, there's so many illegal immigrants working in Pennsylvania and Ohio, and we've got to stop all that. And what President Trump has been doing, and the left has been criticizing him for it, is, he said, we're going to start with the worst of the worst. And they've arrested something like over 600,000 illegal aliens, most of them with criminal backgrounds. And the left says, well, they don't all have criminal backgrounds. Some of them just have traffic offenses. Well, traffic offenses like hit and runs where they kill American citizens. But when you look at maybe not all of them have violent crime offenses, but let's look at the stats of the 600-some thousand. Almost 15,000 had homicide charges. 20,000 had sexual assault charges. 105,000 had assault charges. 30,000 had larceny charges. You look at how many were arrested with criminal convictions, in cities like Atlanta, over 12,000, Baltimore, almost 3,000, Boston, 2,500, Dallas, 20,500. These are people that already have criminal convictions that are running around our country. President Trump and Tom Homan are getting those people off the streets, and the left is trying to stop him from doing that.
Rick, what you're right. And you know what just came to my mind? I used to extradite freight across the country. That's how we're going to say this. I never forget, I was about an hour out of Memphis. It was 5 o'clock in the evening, and I called the guy that I was supposed to deliver freight to, and I was supposed to pick something up there. And he told me, where are you at? And I told him exactly what exit I was. I believe I was on I-40, I believe. But anyways, he told me, he says, dude, get a hotel room where you're at right now. And I says, why? He says, because you can't come in here after dark because of all the illegals that are here in Memphis. Now, we're talking about Memphis, Tennessee, but he said there is a definite problem. Yeah, okay, so so you got Memphis, you go Cincinnati, then and Columbus, Pittsburgh, and across the state, Philadelphia, Scranton. I hear there's problems in Scranton right now. You would know that better than I would because you get around all over the state. And then you're in New York City. So you start thinking about how all this trafficking's moving around. And the illegals, we have to get this stopped. We have to get this stopped. I guess there was like 12 million of them that were collecting Social Security that shouldn't even, no, not 12 million, 275,000 of them that were collecting Social Security that weren't even part of our country ever.
Right.
So
exactly.
think about what I just said. And if we start eliminate these things, we can eliminate property taxes across the board. I mean, that's what it comes to. You can have that extra $5,000 in your pocket at the end of the year to invest or do whatever you want, or buy or pay for a new car or whatever you need to do. But that's where we're at, and we have to keep working. And I really believe, I know you're a MAGA guy, so I'm going to let you go on with it. Go ahead.
Well, I also want to talk about the Second Amendment. You mentioned it. I mean, it's no different from when I was in the legislature. At any given time, the Democrats have between 12 to 15 anti-gun bills in the House and Senate. Everything from banning semi-automatic rifles, red flag laws, banning homemade firearms, universal background checks, reporting lost and stolen weapons. I mean, one of the ones I thought was the craziest was, I remember a guy introduced a bill to ban silhouette targets because he said they were racist because they were black. And he wanted to ban all silhouette targets. I mean, this is the kind of craziness that comes out of the left. And he said it shouldn't be a human face on there because the human face is a silhouette. It's black and it's racist. I said, that's nonsense. He said, well, why don't you put a turkey up there, a groundhog? I said, because I never had a turkey break in my window at night and try to kill me. It's a man. So I want to shoot at a silhouette in practice so that I'm shooting at a person when they're climbing through my window at night. I mean, the left has gone crazy with all this nonsense. And you know, I had the most pro Second Amendment bills of anyone. And when I was in the legislature, I had 5 at one time. My old bill, constitutional carry, which would eliminate the need for a carry permit, because the Second Amendment is your carry permit. I think 26 states already have it. I introduced that bill 12 years ago. It's being fought. It's being carried now in the House by Aaron Bernstein. And in the Senate by Chris Dush. Bernstein tried to force it out of committee not long ago, a month or so. It lost by 1 vote, and that vote was by a House member named Frank Burns from Cambria County, who was an endorsed candidate by Gun Owners of America. They've since revoked his endorsement. He was the last pro-gun Democrat in the House. So there are no pro-gun Democrats left in the House. There's none in the Senate. When Jimmy Brewster left, that's the last one in the Senate. So there are no pro-gun Democrats in our legislature. And we're fighting to protect the Second Amendment every day. People don't realize it, that it's under assault every day. And unless we're vigilant and we're working every day to fight these crazy bills that the Dems introduce, their gun rights are gonna go away slowly. They'll chipping away at. They'll keep chipping away at them.
Well, it's the old adage: you can't eat a buffalo in one day. But if you take a bite out of it every day, pretty soon you've eaten it. And that's what they try to do. They try to take a little bit away from us every day. I'm about constitutional carry. If I get to the point where I can do something about that, I will. I definitely will.
Encourage your legislatures. You got this legislatures down there in Fayette County. Encourage them to stand up and start pushing and help Aaron Bernstein to get that bill out of committee, get it passed. That's my old bill. That's the bill. I was the first one to introduce it. It still cannot get passed because we don't have enough backbone legislators to push it through.
So the vote has to be that's something that you understand better than anyone else, especially in the state House of Representatives. In order to get something passed, what's the number that you need?
Well, you just need a majority, but they can't even get it out of committee because the Democrats are in the majority. So you need a majority. So we're going to have all the Republicans vote for it, and at least one or two Democrats. So we've got to work on these people to convince them that this is the right thing to do. And this shouldn't be a partisan issue. These are the rights of self-defense. Everybody should believe in that. So we need to be able to convince a few Democrats, and we have some Republicans that aren't with us. We need to get them all on board and make sure that they're...
Or we just replace them.
Or replace them. But, the thing is, you may... And I'm pretty sure, you have your Republicans down there. I know Charity's for it. I'm sure Ryan Warner's for it. All those kind of things. They're for constitutional carry. But what we have to tell all our legislators is it's not enough now to just be for it. You've got to stand up and push it. You've got to be a persuasive force. You have to convince other legislators to come on board, especially the ones that aren't for it. You have to get on them and say, hey, look, we really want you to come with us on this, and here's why. Here's the good reasons why. We have to be a persuasive force, and the more of us that do that, the more chance we have of getting it through.
So, so far we're all on board here. And we talked about the immigration. I think I'd like to hear from you to give your opinion about how President Trump's doing over the first 6 months. I guess it's 6 months, but we're going to be in September already pretty soon, so it'd be almost 8 months because you can't count January. How do you think things are going in the country? And I know we have a problem in the state because we have a governor that's just inept. And I can't say inept. He's against everything that's right. So how's that? Is that better than inept? So, he just sits there. You know what he's about. And from what I understand, there's a couple lawsuits coming up against him too. So, but anyways, go ahead.
Well, President Trump has done a tremendous job. He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents. He's going to be right up there with the top, with the Washingtons and the Lincolns. What he's done has never been done before, and this is only 6 months. What he's done with the economy, completely turning the economy around, bringing prices down, bringing inflation back under control like he had it last time, and we're just getting started. What he's done with foreign policy. Oh my God! Just getting the people in NATO to step up and not only pay their fair share, which they hadn't been doing for the last 2-3 decades, but now they've pledged to pay more. Just getting them to do that strengthens NATO. Remember when President Trump first started criticizing NATO, everybody said, oh, he hates NATO and he's trying to get rid of NATO. No, he's actually made it stronger, and they've even come out and said that. They're thankful to him that he's been able to strengthen NATO and make them not only pay their fair share, but pay more. He's ended, as you said, 7 wars. He's working on ending the toughest one, which he didn't think was going to be so tough, is the Ukraine-Russia war. But what he did to Russia, the sanctions and things that he's put on Russia from the very beginning, Russia fears him because they know he'll do what he says. So around the world, Trump has been a force. He's making America respected again. Biden had humiliated our country, and so did Obama. Trump has rebuilt us as a leader. He's rebuilt our military. What he's done for veterans is unbelievable. What he's doing with the drugs, with the right to try, and all those type of things. Revamping the VA and getting it back on board, streamlining it. The VA had a reputation of being, the terrible care for veterans, and it was turning into a woke organization. He got rid of all that, getting rid of all the wokeness in the Department of Defense. My son is a colonel in the Air Force. My other son's a major. They both give me feedback on what's going on and how things are going there, and people are so pleased with how President Trump's getting rid of all the wokeness and getting back to war fighting, making us a lethal force again, not some kind of social experiment. And what he's done with that through Secretary Hegseth has been amazing. And all our agencies, actually, what he's done, with Homeland Security and with ICE and Border Patrol, all those things. I mean, look what we had. We had 10 to 12,000 openings in the Border Patrol and they got almost now. I think they're up to 100,000 applications. People want to be part of it. They want to work. We had trouble recruiting people into the military. Now we have an excess. We had to hold off because we have too many people want to be back in the military again because they got rid of all the woke nonsense and got back to what their core mission is. He's changing our government in so many ways. He's got to get the intel community under control because they're still rogue, and many of them in there are fighting him. But he'll work. He's working on it.
Yeah,
and he'll get that done too. I mean, what he's done on every front has been just amazing.
And we could do this. You look at the governor of Florida. That I feel like Pennsylvania could be the northern Florida without no doubt about it. If we could get the right people in the right places and start changing things, and that's the goal here. We got to get the right people that are willing to do the right thing, even if it costs some votes. I mean, and that's the difference between a politician and somebody an elected official. When you're an elected official, you work for the people. You're not worried about getting reelected again. And
well, that's the problem with most of these politicians is many of them do go in for the right reasons, but I see them get corrupted by the establishment not long after they're in, because the establishment will wear you down. They'll keep on you until you give in. They make it hard for you. They threaten you. And they cut off the money, they cut off the support, and then it's hard to survive unless you're independently wealthy or you have the backing of independent groups. It's hard to survive. They make it so tough for you. So it's a lot easier just to say, okay, I'll just do what you say, and then you'll lay off me and you'll make it easier for me to stay in. That's why I've always believed in term limits, because then you don't have to worry about getting reelected. You can go in there and do your job for the time you're in there, and under no threat from the establishment of, we're not going to help you get reelected. Well, I don't have to worry about that if I'm term limited.
So just as a state representative, how do you feel that what should their term limit be?
I put it I ran on term limits, so was one of my first bills I put in was term limits of a total of not more than 12 years. So that would be either 6 terms in the House or 3 terms in the state Senate. So not more than that, and you could combine them. So you could do like 2 or 3 terms in the House and then combine that with the rest of it in the Senate, but not to add more than 12 years. I would have made it less, but I thought even 12 years it would be hard to get through. Well, even the 12 years, no, I couldn't even get it out of committee. No, they wouldn't even hear it. They're so entrenched that they don't want to give up the perks. They don't want to give up the lifestyle. So I couldn't even get that bill to move because there was just not enough people that want. And the reason is the public doesn't demand it enough. I mean, they did in my district because I ran on it, and they were like, "Yeah, we want term limits." Yeah, Rick, you run on it. Okay, I did. I got in and I put in the bill, but I couldn't get it to move because none of the other people across the state wanted term limits. I mean, the legislators, if their constituents would have stood up and said, "You better vote for term limits when you get in there. We're going to be watching you," then it might have moved. But people weren't doing that. It's so hard to get people to move at the grassroots level.
And that's where we're at. The grassroots has to take over. It has to take over. The patriot groups, the We the People groups, they have to take over because the establishment is decided how they want to do things, and they just don't care. They don't want to hear what people have to say, and I believe they've become deaf or callous to what the common person says. And then what it does is, and you spoke about this before, and I spoke about this with other friends of mine, it creates an apathy where people just don't care about voting because they don't think it does any good.
Yep.
Go ahead. You can elaborate. Go ahead. I'll let you.
No, I mean, it's true. People just give up. I mean, I had so many times I had people say that. I remember walking up to knock on a door of a guy in Finleyville, and he had a big "Don't Tread on Me" flag on. He had an NRA flag up. He had a big sign on his door, pro Second Amendment, everything. I said, "Oh, this will be easy." I knock on the door. I'm Rick Saccone. Hey, Rick. Yeah, I know who you are. You're doing a great job. I said, "Why? Hey, I was just knocking to make sure I get your vote on election day." He said, "Oh, I don't vote." And I said, what do you mean you don't vote? He said, "Oh, it doesn't do any good." I said, "Well, here you are. You got all this stuff here. You want Second Amendment. You want somebody to fight for you. Well, if you don't put that person in there, if my opponent gets in there, you're not going to have those things. Don't you want to make sure I get in and fight for those things?" "Oh, I hope you make it, but no, I don't vote." I mean, it's hard to combat that if they won't get out and vote.
That's the problem. I mean, you can see it. You can see the apathy. You can see how people don't care. And the Democrats count on that time and time again so they can get their people elected.
Yep.
Anything else you want to lay on us today, Rick? I got a few minutes left.
I run the Constitution and Godly Heritage Discovery Center up here in Elizabeth, and we teach about the founding fathers, and how God has always been part of our government from William Penn all the way up to Donald Trump. And so I encourage people to come out and see it. We do it by appointment. We get church groups and civic groups and veterans groups and patriot groups, and all kinds of people come. We run them through. The tour takes about an hour, and we talk about our history. And I encourage people to come. Give me a call if you want to schedule a visit. And if you can't bring a group here, I give about a 40-minute presentation on that at your church or local civic groups. I've done that 124 times across the state. So if you want to hear about our godly heritage and know our history better and be able to defend it against the left, then give me a call and let me come to your area and give you my spiel.
And you funded most of this privately, I know.
It's all of it privately, yeah. I am a 501c3, so we do live on donations, but we get very few donations. And my wife and I really built this on our own over decades of collecting. When I was a teacher at St. Vincent College, I had a hall there that they allowed me to display things in, and I collected things over the decades. And when I retired from there, I built this. So my wife and I built this museum here, and we opened it to the public so we could continue to educate people about our godly heritage.
I think that's very important, and I know you listen to my radio show different times, and I try to make that a staple of what we do here. I think people that fear God understand what's going on better than the people that don't believe that there's a God.
Yeah.
And me and you spoke about that one time too. Is there anything else that you want to throw at us?
No, other than, please, if you see my post on Facebook, or I was suggesting that I was considering it, please share it with others and make some comments or message me. I don't know how you feel about that. And I'll be making a decision on that. Probably not before the holidays, but, we'll see how it shakes out with the governor's candidates and then whoever else steps up for lieutenant governor. And if you want me to get in there and fight for you again, I'm willing to step up and do that, but I just want to make sure I have the support behind me. I don't want to wait. It's a lot of work to run statewide in 67 counties, and I don't want to waste that effort if I don't have the support, or if somebody else has more support that's a good candidate, I'll support them.
Well, I believe we got the talking part down. Now we got to get to doing part. And that's in Fayette County Hillbilly. So, and you understand what I'm trying to say. We got to work hard to get elected. Then we have to work after we get elected to do the right things and make the whole people accountable for what they're doing. And I really feel that's what we have to do. So once again, we got to get I think we got the talking part down. We just got to get the doing part. And get things taken care of, because I'm all on board with this eliminating school property tax. You hit the right nerve with me today. There's no doubt about it.
All right, brother. So get to work on it.
Hey, I appreciate you. If you need anything, you call me, and we'll get you back on here in a couple weeks, huh?
All right. Thanks, John.
Take care.
You too.
Hey, I just want to make sure everybody knows what's going on here in Uniontown. We're going to have the Iradine and Lee Greenwood and Iradine concert is coming October the 25th. Get a hold of the State Theater. Please get a hold of the State Theater and get your tickets, because I do know that we're looking at them being sold out by the end of September, if the numbers keep going the way they are. I know that it's a little hard to watch it, but please get a hold of everybody. We just had somebody buy a block of tickets, I think yesterday or the day before, 50. So we're waiting to see how this is going to all unfold. There's a lot of things going on. Go out and support all your local fire departments and with whatever festivals they're going to have. I know Fairchance is having anything. You can go to Fayette Events or PA Events on Facebook and check it out. We just got that put up, and so everybody can see. I'll be back on Friday right before the football game, and I appreciate y'all. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive and try to forget. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.